The center, also known as the five, is one of the five positions in a basketball game. The center is normally the tallest player on the team, and often has a great deal of strength and body mass as well. In the NBA, the center is around 7 feet tall. They traditionally have played close to the basket in the low post. Centers are valued for their ability to protect their own goal from high percentage close attempts on defense, while scoring and rebounding with high efficiency on offense. In the 1950s and 1960s, George Mikan and Bill Russell were centerpieces of championship dynasties and defined early prototypical centers. With the addition of a three-point field goal for the 1979-80 season. However, NBA basketball gradually became more perimeter-oriented and saw the importance of the center position diminished. The most recent center to win an NBA Most Valuable Player award was Nikola Jokic following the 2020-21 season. The center is considered a necessary component for a successful team, especially in professional leagues such as the NBA. Great centers have been the foundation for most of the dynasties in both the NBA and NCAA. Until the 1940s, even dominant centers such as Moose Krause were not extraordinary tall. Then, the 6 feet 10 in, 9 of them with the Minneapolis Lakers. Using his height to dominate opposing players, Mikan invented the hook shot and the shot block. As a consequence, the NCAA, and later NBA, adopted the goaltending rule, and, in 1951, the NBA widened the foul lane, a decision known as the Mikan rule. In the 1960s, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain further transformed basketball by combining height with a greater level of athleticism than previous centers. Following the retirement of George Mikan, the rivalry of the two big men came to dominate the NBA. Between the two of them, Chamberlain and Russell won 9 of the 11 MVP awards in the 11-year period between 1958 and 1969, played against one another in 6 Eastern Conference Finals and 2 NBA Finals between 1959 and 1969. Many of the records set by these two players have endured today. Most notably, Chamberlain and Russell hold the top 18 season averages for rebounds. Bill Russell led the University of San Francisco to 2 consecutive NCAA championships. He joined the Boston Celtics and helped make them one of the greatest dynasties in NBA history, winning 11 championships over his 13-year career as well as 5 MVP awards. Russell revolutionized defensive strategy with his shot blocking, rebounding and physical man-to-man defense. While he was never the focal point of the Celtics' offense, much of the team's scoring came when Russell grabbed defensive rebounds and initiated fast breaks with precision outlet passes, primarily to point guard Bob Cousy. As the NBA's first African-American superstar, Russell struggled throughout his career with the racism he encountered from fans in Boston, particularly after the 1966-67 season, when he became the first African-American in any major sport to be named player coach. His principal rival, Wilt Chamberlain, listed at 7 feet 1 inch. He also holds the NBA's all-time records for rebounding average. A lesser-known center of the era was Nate Thurmond, who initially played the forward position opposite Wilt Chamberlain for the San Francisco Warriors, but moved to center after Chamberlain was traded to the new Philadelphia franchise. Although he never won a championship, Thurmond was known as the best screen setter in the league, and his averages of 21.3 and 22.0 rebounds per game in 1966-67 and 1967-68 are exceeded only by Chamberlain and Russell. In contrast to the Celtics dynasty of the 1960s, the 1970s were a decade of parity in the NBA, with 8 different champions and no back-to-back winners. At the college level, the UCLA Bruins, under coach John Wooden, built the greatest dynasty in NCAA basketball history, winning 7 consecutive titles between 1967 and 1973. UCLA had already won 2 consecutive titles in 1964 and 1965 with teams that pressed and emphasized guard play. After not winning in 1966, Wooden's teams changed their style when Lou Alcindor became eligible. He led UCLA to 3 championships in 1967, 68 and 69 while winning the first Naismith College Player of the Year award. During his college career, the NCAA enacted a ban on dunking primarily because of Alcindor's dominant use of the shot. His entrance into the NBA with the Milwaukee Bucks in 1969 was timely, as Bill Russell had just retired and Wilt Chamberlain was 33 years old and increasingly plagued by injuries. After leading the Bucks to the 1971 NBA championship, teamed up with legendary point guard Oscar Robertson, Alcindor, who had converted to Islam, changed his name to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. In 1975, Abdul-Jabbar was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, and, after the arrival of point guard Magic Johnson in 1980, formed part of a new Lakers dynasty that won 5 NBA titles. 235 pounds. He lacked